Hello, and welcome back to Gaming Abridged, the video series where I play through games with live commentary and then condense it down to the essentials. My name is WWDadman, but you already know that, and today we're playing through a very short game for the Game Boy, one of the oldest titles I own, and that I have never finished for lack of save features and honestly quite high difficulty compared to other Mario games, Super Mario Land. So, just for the sake of showing this off though, this is my cartridge of the game. And I have my old Game Boy here. You see, this is really old. This is where I played my original Pokemon copies on. So yeah, that's like a really old one. It's the see-through one. So I just popped some batteries into this, and, you know, just to show off. This stuff all still works. Oh, yeah, that happens. And you all know what happens. You know, you could just put it out, put it back in, and try again. And it doesn't help. But what you can do... and suddenly it works. Never tell me that blowing into the cartridge doesn't work. So yeah, it's reflecting the camera in the screen, but yeah, you see. If I just press start real quick. Start. Start. Everything works. Including the music. Now, this game is iconic and spawned a sequel as well as a spin-off series in the Wario Land franchise, but the furthest I've ever gotten was World 3-1. Today we'll be playing this emulated on PC, with the benefit of not actually having to worry about lives and instead just save stating and reloading if we die. Because I have no plans of legit starting over from World 1-1 over and over again. Especially since this is only supposed to be a quick way to try out this format for games that aren't story-based and for platformers in general. Either way, let's get into this. Now, we start off in 1-1, which is very much the same layout as the 1-1 in the first Super Mario Bros. For the NES at the start. A single Goomba coming your way, and a mushroom in a question mark block. Now, this game has secret rooms in pipes, so we get our first one of those right away. Also, towards the end of the stage, you get an invincibility star that works like you'd expect. Along the way, we also pick up a fire flower that lets us shoot exactly one projectile at a time, that bounces off of surfaces. Also, it can pick up coins for us, so that's how you get the ones at the end of this level. The end always has two doors, the upper one of which lets you play a minigame for either extra lives or a fire flower as a prize. 1-2 is very much nothing special, same pyramid background, same music, just more ways of falling to your death, and bees that drop arrows. 1-3 takes you into the pyramid, and the music also changes to a tune I like very much. You are hearing it in the background right now. Also, there are hidden elevators here that bring you up above the level to collect more coins. There is Sphinx-like enemies here that shoot fireballs at two distinct angles, and this is the first boss level. The boss is a fireball shooting Sphinx, similar to the enemy type, but bigger. That is, though, very easily dealt with if you can shoot, otherwise you have to juke it and jump on the level end button to collapse the bridge under it. Very much like the original Bowser fight in SMP. Also, of course, Princess Daisy, yeah, Daisy, not Peach, is not actually here and turns into one of the hopping enemies from 1-1. I can never really identify what those were supposed to be. 2-1 suddenly takes a thematic shift towards space and water, and has its own new music as well. Jumping skeleton fish that can't be shot and fire-spitting seahorses are the new enemies. Also, of course, there is more secret rooms under pipes. 2-2 has the same theme as 2-1 and adds a weird robot alien thing that can have their head fly off and orbit them. They're weird. The jumps up to the second exit here are probably the ones that are the hardest in this game to get right. Seeing as you only really have one try in this without saving, since the platforms you need fall down when stepping on them. You have to do running jumps for these. All of them. Either way, 2-3 is again the boss stage and an underwater auto-scroller. We all hate underwater levels, we all hate auto-scrollers. This was usually the level where I died as a kid. I did fuck up on a save state here and then ended up breaking the game somehow. I think I broke the game. The boss here is a giant seahorse, really the easiest one of all bosses since you can always shoot underwater and it doesn't really do anything to attack you other than shooting a few fireballs. Daisy again isn't actually here and turns into a squid. 3-1 brings back the music from 1-1 and has a setting of the Easter Island. Giant moai statues can be seen in the background, as well as two enemies that are based on moai. One with wings that can't be shot, and one that runs around with its arms swinging, which looks funny as heck. Now, I have never gotten past this stage on my cartridge. There's also boulders you can ride on, a mechanic that will be reused in later iterations of the series, but other than that, the stage is pretty unremarkable. 3-2 puts you into a cave with waterfalls and plays the theme from inside the pyramids. It has spiders that drop from the ceilings, as well as jumping spiders. I gotta say, seeing this level for the first time, I like it a lot. 3-3 puts you back outside with the same music still playing from inside the cave, and the moai heads in the background are now on columns. Same enemy types here, but the level does have a nice jumping puzzle, which I would have liked to see more of in general in this game. I'm more of a precision platformer guy than a Mario kinda guy, really, but yeah. The boss here is a boulder-throwing moai head, and the path for bypassing him for the level end button is pretty obvious, but I still went ahead and shot him because that's just more fun. Daisy, of course, turns into a jumping spider here. Now, 4.1 is, well, listen to the music. Yeah. And then there's also this very obviously stereotypically Chinese-looking enemy and bamboo in the background. As if this wasn't already stereotypical China in your face enough. Either way. Moving on to 4-2, the background is now mountains with the same music and a weird flower enemy, as well as a snake that shares the attack pattern of the Sphinx enemy from the pyramid. Also, this game's version of fire lassos shows up next, and it's only one fireball orbiting around a fixed point, but it can be a hassle to dodge, since this game isn't exactly a precision platformer. 4-3 has you take to the skies in an auto-scroller similar to the underwater level, but this time you are in a plane. The enemies are birds and planes, and there's also a part with a timed labyrinth kind of thing, where if you're not far enough to the right when it starts on the screen, you will be crushed by the auto-scroller, pushing you into a wall. The boss here is a cloud that spawns birds. Again, you can just shoot at any point in this level, so this is decently easy. Unlike, however, every other boss, this one cannot be bypassed. And that is because it spawns the true final boss when beaten. This is where the game turns into a bullet hell for Game Boy standards, with a fight where you need to dodge the quite fast projectiles as well as shoot at all times to kill the boss. With a few attempts, this is pretty doable though, and with that we actually rescue Daisy and the credits roll. That's the final boss? Really? The final boss is a bullet hell? Okay, I never knew that. I've never seen this part of the game. Now, as you see, I didn't quite suspect this to be the end yet. I didn't know how many levels this game had, because I never bothered looking it up, and as I said, this was the first time I actually beat it. But it's nice to finally have seen the end of this game after having the game basically since before I started school. Like, this thing was bundled with my Game Boy, I'm pretty sure. At least I definitely got it around the same time as the Game Boy itself. I think I will also cover Super Mario Land 2 as well as the Wario Land series like this, even if I definitely did already beat both of those before. And I think I actually will be doing those playthroughs on actual cartridges and record them via the Super Game Boy cartridge for the SNES. I get to use that thing way too rarely anyway, and if I can play something on legit hardware, then I prefer doing so. So let me know what you think of the idea of also covering stuff like this on the series, and leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe to never miss an upload, become a member if you want to hang out on the YouTube member and Twitch sub only Discord server. My name is WWDadman, and I will see you next time on Gaming Abridged.